5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Speaking Cinema, serious movie Jibber Jabber, a movie podcast coming to you from a secret underground bunker 20 miles under Hollywood, California.
Deep.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, wherever you're listening to it. That's where you're listening to it. If you're not familiar with our podcast, perhaps this is your first episode. Our format is we talk about the background of a movie, including what we know about it personally. Then we go watch that movie. Then we come back, talk about it some more. That's our format. It's a contextual review.
And it works.
Yeah, and it works. Number one. Wait, huh? With me today, who am I? I'm your host, Mr. Jibber Jabber. But with me today, Special Agent Kevin Merritt, codename Sleeping Snapping Turtle.
Sleeping Snapping Turtle,
Yeah.
huh?
I tried to go like Metal Gear on this, but it didn't really.
True.
You know.
That's good.
But when you beat that game, what rank would you get? I would always get Puma, which I think is the lowest one.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was usually about Puma, too.
Yeah.
Stealth and me, we don't get along too well.
It's tough. This week on the Jibber Jabber, we're going rogue. 2015's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, the fourth installment of our currently airing series.
Of currently in theaters films.
Yeah, movies that you can see right now. Unless you're listening to this later, then maybe go to your local EST platform, your iTunes, your Voodoos, your Amazons. What do you mess around with, Kev? Xbox guy? Sony?
Sony all the time.
Sony.
PlayStation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is what you went through, huh?
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Or, perhaps a disc if you're so inclined.
Oh, the physical media is where it's all at.
So that's your game?
I like Blu-ray.
We've never really talked about this. How do you watch movies?
Usually, if it's streaming on Netflix, I'll do that. I go see
Natch.
a lot of stuff in the theater.
Right.
At least last year I saw 35 movies in the theater. So I like the theater experience.
I don't have that statistic about me ready. We'll save it for a later episode. I do have that information though.
But I do like to get the Blu-ray discs. I feel Blu-ray superior to streaming still. I just think that's the best way to watch it. So
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Yep.
Mission Impossible, starring Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Jeremy Renner, and Alec Baldwin.
There's an inclusion this series.
But speaking of exclusion, I'm bummed that Maggie Q was not brought back for Mission Impossible 3. Maggie Q, big
that's
fan.
right.
Nikita, like that show. Scheduling conflicts. I'm doing air quotes here for the listener. Scheduling conflicts will keep her out of this one, and I'm just sick of it.
I forgot she was at number 3.
She was in 3. She was good in 3 too.
She was.
Mission Impossible was directed by Christopher McQuarrie, with a screenplay by McQuarrie, story by McQuarrie, and Drew Pearce. Produced by Bad Robot, financed by Skydance, and TC Productions, distributed by Paramount. If you're not familiar, Ethan Hunt and team make their most impossible mission yet, eradicating the Syndicate, an international rogue organization committed to destroying the IMF.
Oof. Scary stuff.
This is the 5th movie in the Mission Impossible franchise, which started way back in 1996 with Brian De Palma's first installment. The franchise is, of course, based on the TV show that aired from 66 to 73, created by Bruce Geller. Let's talk about this franchise a little bit. In the early 90s, it was Paramount who had the rights to the Mission Impossible TV show, and they wanted to make a Mission Impossible movie adaptation. They tried for several years, but they really couldn't get it to go. Tom Cruise was a fan of the TV show and convinced Paramount to let his production company make that their first feature, despite the fact that no one liked the script that they had. The movie went into production with Brian De Palma directing and no shooting script. Despite that, the movie was a big hit, spawned numerous sequels. We are, of course, on number 5, if you've been listening. The movie's a big hit, spawned a franchise starring Tom Cruise, known for its high-octane action and big stunts. The franchise is also known for having, I think for the film nerd in all of us, which is me and you,
Yep.
known for having big-name directors. Brian De Palma for number 1, John Woo number 2, J.J. Abrams number 3, Brad Bird number 4, and now Christopher McQuarrie for number 5. They're not getting no J-Brones to,
Exactly. They're not, these guys they all have their established repertoire. I think it's an interesting, we're going to get into it in the episode, but
Right.
they kind of all bring their own style to it, so.
And I will say that I saw Mission Impossible 1 on VHS as a kid at my Udgy and Udge's house. Personally, I did not like that movie. I thought it was a mess, even as a child, and my grandparents thought the same way. So
I felt the same way too. That movie, it's apart from the hacking scene where he dives in, which is a classic scene.
Right, parodied to death.
Everything else is just Yeah, that movie, you can tell they didn't have a shooting script.
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
were
in
making that
retrospect,
movie, so.
it makes a lot of sense.
And there was a Nintendo 64 game made out of Mission Impossible. That was terrible.
I believe you.
That game was so bad.
It was no Perfect Dark.
It wasn't even Perfect Dark's boots. It was bad.
Right now we're in a spy renaissance. 2015 has brought us Spy, The Kingsman, which have already come out. And we're looking, Mission Impossible is next. And then to end the year, we're going to go with The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Spectre. So that's 5 spy movies in 1 year.
Jesus.
I welcome it. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we're getting in there.
As of this recording, this movie can be seen in theaters. Buy your tickets online, folks. The pre-order's up on iTunes. Pre-order that movie if you're so inclined.
You can pre-order it for like home video.
The pre-order, from what I understand nowadays, the pre-order will go up the day the movie comes out.
Oh,
So
okay.
So technically, as of this recording, because we're recording this, a week early, this intro part, it won't be up. By the time this episode comes out, probably go on iTunes and see that.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
So, Kev, are you a fan or even familiar with the TV show?
No, I have not seen a single episode. The only thing I'm familiar with is, of course, the classic theme song.
Indeed. When I think of Mission Impossible, I think TV show wise, in my mind's eye, I end up thinking about Get Smart.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's the one with the guy in the shoe. With the shoe is his cell phone. It's like, no, that's a different thing.
Yep. Yeah, I've not seen a single Mission Impossible TV episode.
No, I have no familiarity with it. The theme song with the
fuse.
the burning fuse. I'm making it. By the way, I'm trying to make a motion with my hand that would convey a burning fuse. It doesn't transition to audio.
I knew what you were talking.
Yeah. You get it. Are we? But okay, so TV show. We don't know anything about that. But are we a fan of the Mission Impossible movie franchise?
As it went on, I have become a bigger fan of it. Those first two are just not good. The second movie I saw in theaters when it came out.
Me too.
And I was in my teens, and it was the first time where I was like, this is a straight up action movie, and I don't like it. Because it was like at that age, you're 15, you kind of watch any action movie, it's great. You love big stunts.
You find something to love about it.
Exactly.
Right? Even if the movie is not really good, you're like, well, but I like Arnold, so
Yep.
His one-liners were good, or his action was good. The villain side. But this was the first movie where you're like, there's nothing
this
to
whole
like.
thing sucks.
Yeah.
I was just, I was very disappointed. Yeah, when they fly at each other on the motorcycles and slam into each other and nobody dies, I was like, there's a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, it's
and
not
that
working.
just went way too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I saw the first one on VHS, like I just said. I saw the second one in the theater too. I felt similarly, where I was like, this is just stupid. And then the third one came and went, and I did not see it, but the Totally Rad Show, which I used to be a fan of, the Totally Rad Show on Revision 3 on YouTube, really put it over hard as like a great movie, and I was like, I don't know. And I eventually watched it on Netflix, and I was like, damn, this was like, as bad as 2 was, this was oppositely good. Everything that 2 failed in, this was bent it right back the other way, and I was like, damn, like,
Yeah, I saw 3 in theaters almost begrudgingly.
I got dragged to it.
It was the slow summer. I mean, it didn't have anything better to do. So let's go see Mission Impossible 3.
But then you were blown
I was
away.
pleasantly surprised by it. I was like, this is a really good action movie.
And then moving on to 4, I think 4 was just like, okay, this is just fun now.
Yeah, not only the live action debut of Brad Bird, who is a very accomplished animation director, very smart, very accomplished director, proved he can do live action, and he did crazy big stunts and like gadgets and all that. It was just about as good as it gets.
Right. So it's an interesting thing. As of this recording, Terminator just kind of came and went movie wise. And that's a long-standing franchise as well. And it went up and it went down. But this is, in that movie, it's like 1 is great, 2 is perfect, 3 is lame, 4 is lame, 5 is, it's like, but this is the opposite, right? Where this is like 1 and 2 weren't very good, and then now we're kind of on the upswing with 3 and 4 and 5. So it's interesting, the interesting parallel there, right?
Yeah, franchise usually, by the second one it's not working, most studios just abandon it.
Right.
But yeah, when 3 came around and really kicked it in the balls and gave it some life, And yeah, it's unique that it got a whole new renewed interest in it.
One of the signature things about these movies are its massive stunts. You know, four had Tom Cruise on the outside of the world's tallest building in Dubai. Two had
the Burj Khalifa building.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
in
indeed.
Dubai. You know, and as they're doing it with this one too, but Tom Cruise actually did that stunt. In the trailer, they're showing
Spoilers for the trailer.
They're showing this plane stunt where Tom Cruise is on the outside of a plane that is
It's a
taking
big cargo plane.
and it's actually him. And like, there's a trailer showing like I've never seen this before. A trailer that shows behind the scenes moments like on TV, and they're showing like he actually did this, you
Right,
know?
where they strapped him to a plane and then they took off the plane.
Yep.
Which is intrinsically a terrible idea. Right? I mean, cinematically, great idea.
Yep.
In terms of living a long, fulfilling life, bad idea. Because if
Exactly.
anything goes wrong, you're flying off the side of a plane to your death.
There's just
Nothing you can do.
I
No,
mean-
no parachute. No, like.
And yeah, if something goes wrong, they have to wait till the plane lands.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. It's Tom Cruise has some stones. Say whatever you want about the guy.
Right, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, and so, I mean, I feel like, you know, in the marketing they try to make it like the big stunts of this movie, you know, are appealing, and two is him rock climbing.
Yep.
But,
And
you know,
that was in the first like 10 minutes.
Right.
Or two.
So what's your take on this, Kev? I mean, you're impressed with it?
Oh yeah, big time. I think they've kind of realized that these movies are really just vehicles to do big stunts. Mm-hmm. And I think for this franchise it works. You know, it's the only good villain they ever had was Philip Seymour Hoffman, and that's because he's brilliant. You know, it's like the story is always kind of secondary to the big stunts.
Do you remember the villain in the fourth one?
It was the guy from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Michael Blanc. Michael Nyquist is his name. So, and he really wasn't, you know, he was like the focus of the story, but he wasn't like that memorable a villain, you know?
Right.
It was all about like the different gadgets and, you know, the espionage they have to pull off and then the big stunts.
Right.
So, which Brad Bird filmed absolutely brilliantly, I think.
Well, you know, and in the first one, they did stunts on like real trains that were going super fast, and
Yep.
I feel like it's an interesting parallel. The better the movie, the more you appreciate the stunt, whereas the worse the movie, the more the stunt is kind of like
The centerpiece.
right. So it's like in number 2, it's like he's rock climbing, which is also incredibly dangerous. Freehand rock climbing, if you slip, you die.
Yep.
But I don't really care about that, and I think that's tied into my displeasure with that movie. Whereas in 4, he's climbing a incredibly tall building, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so amazing. Those are the same thing. One's on rock, one's on the building. There's the same amount of risk, right? But one is cooler than the other because one movie I'm more emotionally attached to. So it's interesting. I think that's an interesting parallel.
Well, and Ghost Protocol does way more with the story of him climbing. Like, they keep raising the stakes of the stuff.
And that's part of the story, right? He has to climb the building to steal a thing and to get a guy to whatever. In the first one, he's on vacation. He's climbing a building.
It has no tie into this. It's just... It's like in the 80s when it was just like, look at his rippling muscles, and he's all sweaty. Oh my god.
It kind of reminds me of like a Bond movie where it's like, why do the bad guys have skis? I get why Bond stole those skis, but why is there an army standing by just in case someone escapes down the mountain?
Yep.
It makes no sense.
This is the ski syndicate just waiting to get Bond.
That's my ski gang, the ski syndicate.
They meet on Tuesdays.
So Tom Cruise, obviously the star of these 5 movies and many others. You know, a lot of people say a lot of things about Tom Cruise, him being a nut, him being a Scientologist, him being a celebrity, a movie star. Let's focus on that. What do you think about his work, even though he comes across as a bit of an odd duck?
Just a little bit, right? He is never the problem with his movies, I think. Sometimes
Even in Rock of Ages.
never saw it.
Never saw that either.
I bet. But now I'm going to.
I kind of would like to do it. I would like to do, honestly, guys, I would like to do a whole season of musicals, and I would like to be that to be not number 1, number 3.
I'll do it.
The third one in the week.
I'll be there.
All right.
But he always, like, the script, the director might not be up to par, but he is always giving like 110%, 120% even in some of those movies. And he's always on, he's always focused, he's always kind of living in that character that he's doing. You never see him like taking a day off.
Right.
You know, so whatever about his personal life, I don't really care as long as he's happy. He's not hurting anybody. People like to dog on Tom Cruise because he's kind of weird, but I think you got to be a little crazy to be a little great, you know.
And also, I mean, the level of fame that he has, I mean, that would drive anyone. You know, that's like my nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
That guy can't live a normal life, you know.
And to his credit, I do feel like he does take risks and he does push himself.
He takes big time risky roles.
Right, like Collateral, I think, you know, where he's the villain. You got Magnolia, which is just a bonkers movie, and he really commits to it. You know, is very emotionally raw in that movie. You know, and even something like, you know, Rock of Ages, where he's starting to play a rock star. It's like, you know, I don't know. I do sympathize with Tom Cruise as a movie maker.
And then Tropic Thunder, he just took a bit part.
Right.
You know? That could have, anybody, they could have thrown a fat suit on anybody in that movie.
Or gotten a fat guy.
But he went in there full force as the big hairy arms and the balding head and
complete psychopath.
And it's not a big part in that movie, but he takes it and just does the whole thing. And, you know, he's never the problem. I don't think. Like, I always like him in his movies, even if the movie itself isn't that good.
Well, okay, it's interesting that you say that he's never the problem, because with all big movie stars, right? There's only a few true like movie stars, and it's kind of a 80s. It's a Hollywood concept of a star can open a movie, right? You put that guy or that girl's face on a poster, and people that's what gets asses in the seats. And as in the 80s and the early 90s, that was, you know, perceived to be very true. And as we go into the 2000s and 2010s, it seems to be more about franchises, and it seems to be more about other things, and the power of a star is less, right? So would you agree with that? A lot of times I listen to like podcasts or read articles, and they're like, Tom Cruise can open a movie, and they on the negative end of this, they talk about like Jack Reacher or Edge of Tomorrow or Rock of Ages or Night and Day. And then, you know, you can flip down the positive end, right? You can say Mission Impossible, Valkyrie, and Oblivion. So, and those being his last, like, approximate 7 movies.
Yeah.
So, do you think that he can open a movie, or do you even agree with that concept in today's day and age?
In today's day and age, I just don't think the average moviegoer really cares about the big star. I think there's this weird stigma against like superstardom. I think.
I think in a TMZ influenced culture,
yeah,
it's
in
like
a very TMZ influenced culture. You know, people dog on Tom Cruise, Kanye West. It's just like these guys who are megastars and act like they're megastars, and for some reason that's perceived as this terrible thing nowadays. And that's just our culture has grown to be like, oh, they have to kind of be just like us. Like Taylor Swift has this image of like, oh, I'm just like you. It's on Instagram and so perky and beep, 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 beep. I hate Taylor Swift.
That was I was the listener can't see. I was writing down my idea based on something Kev said, and he started doing a Taylor Swift impression. I was like, wait, is Taylor Swift here? What happened?
Thought she walked in.
But
yeah, it's
I didn't hear the door open. Is she in here?
Yeah.
It wasn't her. It was just Kev.
Yeah, it's the average pop culture connoisseur wants them to be like, oh, I'm just like you, even though they are not by the
right, because you're not
biggest stretch of the imagination, but they project that image of like
of relatability.
Exactly, and I think that's for the worst. Like, why not have these big stars? Why not embrace what they can do if we can universally like it? I think it's dumb.
More Kiss and less grunge.
Oh
right?
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Kiss over Kurt Cobain any day of the week.
Send your letters to us. I slightly disagree with that. I think there is still in the TMZ culture, I think there is still a value to names, but I don't think the names will get. And I don't know if this is. I think the perception was that the name would get people in the seats, but I do think that people have to like the concept. Like if I am a fan of George Clooney, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go see a World War II movie with George Clooney in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
I think with like in the '90s, there's like a lot of like romantic comedies and things like Hugh Grant, and I think people wanted to see him like that. And I don't think if you put him in a horror movie or a gritty war movie, the same audience would come. I think that people are into the genres that they're into, and I think it comes down to genres, right? And I think people welcome big stars into their movies, right? In the DC movies and the comic book movies, we like Robert Downey Jr. We like Chris Evans. We like, Will Smith.
Yep.
But I don't think that if you're a comic book fan, and if you're not a comic book fan and a Will Smith fan, I don't think that's going to get you to go see it. You know what I mean? I don't think that just a face can put asses in the seats. I think you have to be interested. Because you'd be bored the whole time.
Yeah, you want to start with an interesting movie.
Right.
I think, first. And then, yeah, you get the big star that looks like they're going to do something interesting, or just, if their shtick works, let them do it. And maybe that's a way to get it.
Right. Right. Because if there's a movie, Scarlett Johansson's a big movie star, but if she's in a movie that's a courtroom drama and you're not into courtroom dramas, you're not going to make that jump. You know what I mean?
I love me some ScarJo, and I have not seen one of her Woody Allen movies.
Right. Because you're not a Woody Allen fan.
I don't like Woody Allen.
Right. Exactly. But I'm a Scarlett Johansson fan. I'm a horror fan. Ergo, I saw Under the Skin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my take on it. And I also think that, just to piggyback off what you said, there's a lot of voices in our culture of, like, anger, right? Like, when the Jurassic World trailer came out, a lot of people being like, this looks like shit, they ruined the franchise. Loud voices. That does not necessarily, sometimes it does, but it does not necessarily reflect the majority. Like,
with Jurassic World now being the third highest grossing movie of all time.
And people are seeing it, with that kind of money, people are seeing it multiple times. People are speaking, that level of success speaks to people enjoying it and going to see it. Same kind of backlash happened against that Green Lantern movie, and it turned out to be kind of true.
Yep.
So I think that there is a loud voice of people just being negative and shitty for the sake of being negative and shitty that makes this particular argument, if someone can open a movie, hard to determine, because everyone, no matter what you release, people will instantly start talking shit. And you don't know if that's just reactionary or true.
We have a weird internet troll culture going on right
We do.
now. So it's just very knee-jerk anger. Just, guys sitting in their basement being losers who have nothing better to do than shit on successful people.
And just so everyone's listening, we're not in a basement right now,
no,
right?
We're on the second floor here, folks.
So there's a window. We can see the outside air. You suck it.
There's a plant growing.
Yeah.
There's a plant growing over here.
Yeah. Jalapeno plant. Tree? No, plant.
Delicious.
Indeed. Mission Impossible, directed by Christopher McQuarrie, handpicked by Tom Cruise after the previous installment. Brad Bird turned this movie down to do Tomorrowland. Are you familiar with Christopher McQuarrie? Are we familiar with the things he's directed? Way of the Gun, Jack Reacher, and he also wrote The Usual Suspects, Edge of Tomorrow, and Valkyrie.
Yeah, I really heard of him when I saw Usual Suspects first.
Yeah.
And that was the first movie, I think, where I really recognized the writing and the script.
Right, in a rare movie where the writing and the script got very special attention.
Yep, and I was like, oh man, Christopher McQuarrie, that guy must be brilliant. And so I've always kind of followed his career. I remember not liking The Way of the Gun, but I think...
Benicio del Toro?
And Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah.
I
by the way, that movie played on IFC for
no, that was on
all
IFC.
day, every day.
Yep. But I think I need to watch it again now that I'm older and wiser. Because when that movie came out, I was still really into like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Pulp Fiction, and like needed everything to kind of be like fast, crazy.
Fast, crazy, wit.
Yeah.
References.
Yeah, and I think... Yeah, I really need to revisit that now that I'm a little older and see what I think of it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. I liked Valkyrie when it came out. I was a big fan of that.
I did as well.
Edge of Tomorrow, love that movie.
Great.
Fucking amazing. Usual Suspects.
The worst marketed movie ever?
Perhaps.
Edge of Tomorrow?
Well,
it's up there.
That first... moving into our backdoor pilot for serious trailer Jibber Jabber, I felt that the trailer for that movie, I was just like, holy shit, I am in from the first get. And I just did not connect with that, apparently anyone else. But I was down from day one with that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was like strong concept, but I thought maybe they were getting too serious with it. And then you go in the movie, and the movie's actually like a comedy. And
Yeah,
I think
it's super fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, and they just marketed it as so dour and so such a down in the dumps serious thing.
But I loved it, bro.
But yeah, it's a fun movie. I think if they'd done that, it would have done a lot better.
But I am excited to see what he's going to do with this movie. I'm a fan. I never saw Jack Reacher. Way of the Gun, I was kind of a fan of, in that IFC. Like, I saw half of it one day and the other half the other day. In the way that you're like, yeah, they'll replay it. I'm not worried about this at all. And yeah, so I'm interested to see what he can do with this movie and what he can bring to it.
And I have seen Jack Reacher. I thought that movie was really underrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's very, like, 70s style like Steve McQueen would have done this movie in the 70s with like Sam Peckinpah. You know, it's like a good, gritty, like slow burn thriller with some really good stuff in it.
Interesting.
So
wow, I'll have to revisit that.
Well worth checking out. So yeah, that got me excited for the Mission Impossible 5 here. So I think McQuarrie's got chops as a director and a writer.
So you're talking about, you know, the Hollywood tradition, and in this movie, Mission Impossible 5 deals with two time-honored Hollywood traditions, franchises
For decades.
and spy movies.
Yep.
I was like, decades, only since the 80s, 3 decades ago.
God, we're old.
So, franchises, all the rage in Hollywood right now, especially here in the 2010s. Ant-Man, obviously part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise. You know, you hear all these rumors about, like, the idea of creating new franchises, forcing things into franchises. Universal wants to make the monster movies into franchises. So you got your Invisible Man, your Wolf Man, the team up movie.
I'm shaking my head right now, viewers.
What about Sony's idea to do a Robin Hood movie, a Little John movie, blah blah blah, and then a big meetup movie?
Why?
The thing is, at least
Who
with
wants to see a Friar Tuck movie?
okay, exactly though, right? Because with Friar Tuck, it's like I don't want all of the. You could do like a Maid Marian movie. You could do a Robin Hood movie, and you could do the whole group of Robin Hood's band of thieves, right? But individually, so you got 3 movies and then the team up, right? But that's it. Because I'm not watching a Friar Tuck movie. I'm not watching that.
No.
And but with the monster movies, to their credit, I would watch if it looked good. I would watch a Mummy movie. I would watch a Frankenstein movie. I would watch Invisible Man movie. And then if they all teamed up, I would watch that too. You know, based off of what I thought of them. You know, those at least could have their own individual movies and historically have already done that. But yeah, I ain't watching no Big John, fucking Little John, Big John team up movie.
And what are the monsters gonna team up
Against the world?
That's why I don't.
Hitler? If it was Hitler, I would be in.
The Mummy versus Hitler.
The Mummy
Part 2.
versus Hitler. Dracula versus
Mussolini.
Mussolini. And then who?
Frankenstein's got to take on Stalin.
Yeah, Frankenstein beats Stalin.
Only he can handle those Russian winters.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, that's kind of the era we live in these days. Is everything they wanted to shoehorn everything into a franchise and turn it into like 2 or 3 movies to make a buck.
So based on your tone right now, I'm thinking you're not really into this.
If it's worthy of it, then do it. Like
Right.
if you can handle doing 4 or 5 movies, like the Mission Impossible franchise can,
To name a name.
to name one, then go ahead and do it. Make your money. But yeah, when you're trying to shoehorn every single idea into like this whole franchise opportunity, it gets old and it gets fatiguing and it's gonna confuse your average moviegoer, you know.
But the thing is, there's lots of talk about doing this, but not a lot of action on it, right? Like, there's talk about doing another Bourne movie and using Jason Bourne of Matt Damon, and then the guy played by Jeremy Renner, and combining them into a movie. And there's talk about, like, you know, with the Evil Dead TV show, having Ash and whoever the girl was in the movie that came out a couple of years ago meet up at a certain point. But it seems like it's always planning. Like the Spider-Man big cinematic universe through Sony all got canceled, and they're going to fold him back into the Marvel universe. It seems like Marvel and DC are the only 2 people who are doing it now. You know what I mean? And everyone else talks about doing it, but really has no idea how to do it.
Yes, they talk about doing it, and then their movies come out, and they're no good, and they don't make any money, and then all of a sudden these year-long plans they had, they just cancel the weekend after.
Also, credit where credit's due, and criticism where criticism's due. Fox did do it with Alien vs. Predator, and criticism, they did it terribly.
Yes. They tried.
But they are bringing back. They're doing Prometheus 2, they're going to do another Aliens movie, and they're going to do another Predator movie. So, I mean, again, those things are, you know, confirmed to be in development, but there's no release date. Nothing's in the can yet for those, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, again, just a lot of talk about doing this, but not a lot of action.
And that kind of became a thing, too, when Lord of the Rings came out.
Right.
Everything was going to get a trilogy. They had Golden Compass was going to get a trilogy. Canceled after the first movie. Spiderwick Chronicles, I remember. Canceled their trilogy. And again, it's like...
What was that other one with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Oh, yeah.
Narnia.
The Narnia movies.
Canceled.
Yeah, well, Yeah, they had the first one come out. It did pretty good. Second one came out. Nobody cared. Did you know a third one came out?
I think I did see that third one.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're trying to create demand where there isn't any. It's like people want the Lord of the Rings trilogy because there were 3 books.
Right.
And there were 3 like time-honored books. But yeah, when you try again, you're trying to just you're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. It's not everything needs to be 4 or 5 movies. Like,
Could Lord and Miller make a good Golden Compass sequel?
no.
What?
No, they can't.
They can do anything.
They're too busy with Han Solo.
It's true. So let's talk about the other side of the coin, the spy movie genre. Thank you, Kev. The spy movie genre. Mission Impossible, obvious entry into that. Not Alone. You got the Bourne movies. Jack Ryan, a.k.a. Hunter for Red October, Clear and Present Danger, Shadow Recruit. James Bond, of course. Do we like spy movies, Kev?
For the most part, yes. It's again kind of tied into franchises. Spy movies, I think, really lend themselves to franchises because you can really do a new story every movie.
Totally, because it's in the vein of a medical show. It kind of reminds me of TV in a certain way, of like a medical show or like a courtroom drama where it's like, well, every week we have a new mission, right? We have a new case, we have a new patient, right? So it's like, we beat this guy, but now there's this other guy. And that's kind of reflecting the world politics, right? Where, we're worried about Cuba, and then we were worried about other South American countries, and then we're worried about Russia, then we're worried about the Middle East, and then we're worried about
North Korea,
then we're worried about crazies in our own country, and then we're worried about North Korea again. So it's like, you can fold that into the dough of the spy movie, you know what I mean?
And then you can do it with a movie budget, too. So
Right.
you can pull off, for the action-oriented spy movies, like James Bond, like Mission Impossible, you pull off the big stunts and all the things that have become staples of their
Franchise.
yeah, their franchises.
Yeah.
So
I will say that I'm not a huge Jack Ryan fan, and I am not a huge Bond fan. I'm a more big Bond fan of like the new Bond movies. I feel like the old ones are a little bit too wackadoo.
you think?
And really, I mean, Melissa McCarthy in Spy and The Kingsman, I really enjoyed those movies. Like, I feel like those movies, while winking at the audience, it's kind of like transcending a genre while being a part of it. Where it's like, it is a great spy movie while also referencing spy movies and being a little postmodern. And I feel like that is fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No,
and they're embracing fun.
Yeah, I didn't see Spy with Melissa McCarthy, but I loved Kingsman.
Right.
That's a great film.
I would recommend Spy with Miss McCarthy. I think it was...
I'll check it out.
Chad, I think it's worth checking
Yeah,
out.
Kingsman is actually one that I'm like, yeah, I want like 50 sequels to this. This is great. I loved it. So,
And we're not even talking about... There's a whole nother... We're talking about kind of like gadgety spy movies. So, okay. So there's kind of... Speaking of spy movies, there's 2 kinds of spy movies, right? We'll call them gadget and glasses. Gadget, spy movies, action, fun, cars, chases, sexy ladies, exotic locales, and just like, missions with kind of high stakes, but like, this laser will melt the moon, and then the meteors that come off of it, blah, 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 blah. I gotta stop the guy. Guy with gold teeth.
yep.
Or perhaps a gold gun. So, Spy Kids, Mission Impossible, Kingsman, those are that kind of movie, right?
James Bond, of course.
James Bond being the darling of that
Yep.
kind of
really,
gadgety
really kicked off that whole type of genre.
And what we've really not even been talking about is the glasses kind of spy movies, which are grittier, more realistic portrayals of actual spy work. Obviously formatted for film, but dire stakes and dour characters. You got like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Good Shepherd, Spy Game, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, and A Wanted Man from last year.
A Most Wanted Man.
A Most Wanted Man. Thank you, Kev. I think you noted this. Often feature guys standing in glasses in the rain.
Yep, that's why I call them glasses spy
Right.
movies.
Do you prefer one over the other?
No, I like them both.
Right.
I do like what we're gonna call the glasses spy movies. I think are very. It shows the other side of like it's not James Bond. It is like it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of really hard espionage. It's a lot of like shoring up sources that you can use to like work against somebody, and it shows you like this is how a spy actually does their job.
Right, dead drops and
Yep.
now
Now
spying on people and
And I don't think that these two genres could ever cross over.
No?
You know? I don't think
Lord
so.
Miller couldn't do it?
No. I think the glasses spy movies need to be really grounded in reality, and if, you know, George Smiley from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy came out with a face-making machine, then that would just throw the whole thing off, you know? It's... Whereas if the...
I don't know, man. I'm buying this bitch.
Whereas, like, if a gadget spy movie got too dour or too serious, Quantum of Solace, then they're just no fun anymore.
Right.
Nobody really wants to watch them. That's why I personally do not like the Bourne movies, because I think they're way too serious, but feature, like, ridiculous stunts that no man can actually do.
See, I think I like... So what would you put the... Is that glasses? Is Bourne glasses, or is it...
I think it kind of tries to do both.
Mm-hmm.
It tries to be kind of gritty and real, but it has car chases and Bourne jumping through windows. Not that you can see any of it, because Paul Greengrass doesn't own a tripod.
He doesn't.
But
He doesn't.
that was half the problem with
Again,
those last two.
if you learn anything from this podcast, I don't care about shaky cam, so I did not mind that at all.
Boy, you must have loved those two.
I did love...
nothing but shaky cam.
Well, you know, to talk about me... Of every movie of all these different franchises and everything, I think the Bourne movies are my favorite, and I think they do kind of combine both of those genres. And I think that I'm kind of in the, like, I would say that I like the gadget ones better, but I don't. The majority of those movies are James Bond movies, and I'm not really into them. I'm only really into the ones that came out this year of the gadget variety.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the more serious ones, those aren't my favorite movies. Yeah, I think I thread the line and I go with the Bourne kind of vibe.
I mean, it's tough with the glasses ones, because they can be... Some of them are a slog. Mm-hmm. But some, like, I think last year's The Most Wanted Man, Philip Seymour Hoffman's final performance, that one is a perfect example of, like, a really well-executed... It's a lean story, but it's really well told. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't get too bogged down with a lot of, like, detail. Well, I mean, there's lots of details, but...
They keep it moving. They keep it moving. It's a really compelling story. But yeah, there's no car chase. There's like 1 foot chase in the whole thing. There's no gadgets. There's no sexy ladies. Mm-hmm. Even though Rachel McAdams is in it, but she is fully clothed and not dipped in gold.
Exactly, and not dipped in gold. So, but that one is a great example of a really compelling, very gritty, and kind of current spy story, like what we actually do in the 21st century.
Well, you know, Mission Impossible is definitely in the gadget, deep question. In the gadget genre, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
Indeed. So we'll get into some rapid fire here, and then we'll fuck off and go see this movie. Rapid fire, you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Aston Martin DB5 from Goldfinger or DBSV12 from Casino Royale?
You can't deny the DB5, but God, that DBSV12 is a sexy car. The DBSV12.
I'm going to go with the DB5.
All right.
But I'd probably go with like a Mini if I was choosing like a classic Bond
If that
car.
was your spy car?
Yeah, that was my spy car. I have a classic Mini with like a jetpack.
All right.
Berlin or Moscow?
Berlin.
Berlin, come on.
It's a great city.
Great city, great spy. Half the city at one point was Eastern Bloc and the other half was Western. I mean, if that is not a great setting for a spy,
Yep.
anything, I don't know what is.
We have a spy movie coming out this year, Bridge of Spies, based on that very conflict.
Interesting.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, right. I didn't even remember that. Holy shit.
But that's going to be a glasses spy movie. No question.
Hard glasses. Thick glasses.
Yep. Written by the Coen brothers. Excited for that one.
Goldfinger,
Scaramanga,
or Silva?
We're talking best Bond villain here.
Right. Jaws didn't make this list. Controversial.
He's like a henchman. He's
True.
not like a main villain.
Good.
In honor of Christopher Lee, I'm going to say Scaramanga. Although I really like Javier Bardem as Silva.
I'm going to go with Goldfinger because he dipped chicks in gold. That's cold, bro. That's cold.
That's cool.
Javier Bardem, yeah, he blew up a building, but that's not as cold as dipping a chick in gold.
Yep. And of course, he has the immortal line, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die."
Yeah.
It's like, it's a villain who's like, yeah, you can talk, but I don't give a fuck if you die either.
Yeah, just shut up and die. Or don't. I don't care. You're going to die either way.
Also, Yaphet Kotto, probably the stupidest death in Bond history.
He blew up.
Yeah,
like,
where he
literally...
sticks it with a helium thing and he inflates with a balloon and blows up. Come on, Roger Moore.
Well, it wasn't Roger Moore's idea.
Was that Roger Moore? Yeah, it's true.
Whoever was Bond, it wasn't his idea. Like, let's blow him up this way. You know what I mean? Best evil pet, Pit of alligators, sharks with lasers on their head.
Alligators.
I'm going to agree.
All right.
You know,
Alligators are cool.
sharks with lasers in the head, that is just asking for trouble. You know what I mean? How do you even... The lasers make it too much. If it was just sharks would be better. But lasers, now you're in a whole nother realm of, you know, how do you even handle this? Alligators, throw them a chicken every now and again, you'll be good to go.
Yep. But they will eat a person.
Ursula Andress or Jane Seymour?
Oh, Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour, come
my
on.
God. She's still looking good.
Dr. Quinn, killing it. She's selling those jewelries from K Jewelers or whatever.
Yep.
Dude, I'm down. I'll buy it.
You can do frontier medicine on me anytime.
Better Jack Ryan. Baldwin, Ford. Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford.
I really like Alec Baldwin's soul turn in Hunt for Red October.
So you're going to go with...
Yeah, Alec Baldwin.
And I'm going to go with Harrison Ford because you can't fuck with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford was good, but I kind of like Jack Ryan as like...
Hey.
Just a cog in the machine kind of guy who goes in over his head.
Totally fair.
Like Hunt for Red October.
Biggest Cold War bugaloo. Bay of Pigs, Iran-Contra.
I'm going with the Iran-Contra. That fucked us for a long time.
I agree that it did, but I think Bay of Pigs was worse because it's like, we know this isn't going to work. We know it's not going to work. They know that we're coming, and we did it anyways. It's just like, what are you guys, stupid? Just call it off.
Yep.
You know, and be like, what up? You guys heard wrong. But no, that's just arrogance.
It was.
Exploding pen or hidden knife in the shoe.
I like the hidden knife in the shoe.
Gotta go with the knife in the shoe.
Sneak up on you.
And I lose pens all the time, bro. I'm gonna misplace that pen, and then they got a bomb floating around. You know, I'm gonna feel terrible if someone gets hurt.
And your secretary is gonna blow up.
Exactly. But I got a knife in my shoe, homie. I know where I put my shoes.
Yep.
Also, don't be taking off that knife shoe. Keep that shoe on. Face making machine from Mission Impossible or rocket launcher from your car?
That face making machine, is a handy little tool, so I'm going with that.
It is, but in Mission Impossible 4, it errored out and got fucked up. And I feel like
a nice twist. I thought.
Well, that was great. Great moment in the movie. But I think the rocket in the car, I mean, that has to work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm going to go with car rockets.
Also, Mission Impossible 2, just stupid with face masks in that movie. It's like every other scene, somebody was ripping their face off.
Yeah, every scene.
Yep.
Every scene they're taking that mask off.
Lots of face ripping.
Golden gun or Jaws' teeth?
I'm going with the golden gun.
Yeah, golden gun. One shot, one kill.
Yep. And also Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P., dude. Yep. You're the best. Best gadget from Ghost Protocol. Hallway projector or paperclip checking device?
That hallway...
Paperclip tracking device.
There you go. That hallway projector was a cool little thing, but you could really sneak up on somebody with the paperclip tracker, so I'm going with that.
I'm going to go with hallway projector just because they use it for that purpose, but who knows what other things you could use that for. You know what I mean? I want to get that in the hands of the developers and see what they make of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's fucked up. Halloween time, you could traumatize some children with that thing.
You could mess people up all day.
Best GoldenEye N64 weapon, and there's a lot to choose from, right? So you could choose any of them. There's dual M16s, dual sniper rifles, the PPK, the RCP-90, a well-timed laser watch to the face, karate chop, throwing knife, proximity mine. What do you pick?
Dude, I like the remote mines. Those
The
things
remote
are
mines?
great.
Because that's just cold-blooded, right? Where you're just like,
Yep.
You know,
The fact that they stuck to people,
yeah,
perfect.
right. And so you could, if you want to really embarrass someone, you sneak up behind them, you hit them with the remote mine. You could also throw it down and while you're running away and detonate it as you're running, or you could put a trap down next to a good gun. You know, the golden gun's on the floor. You throw that mine down, and then you watch someone else's screen and you detonate it.
Boom.
Fucked up. But I'm gonna go with the RCP-90 because that gun is just spray and murder everybody.
Accuracy by volume.
Accuracy by volume, death from above. That thing was just overpowered to shit.
Yep.
So it's
That's
like,
a great guy.
Everyone has to team up on that guy, and you have a good chance of surviving if 3-on-1 with that guy. So you know.
And if you played as Odd Job, fuck you.
Yeah, karate chopping with Odd Job, you're an asshole. Who'd you play it with? Bond? Were you a Bond guy?
I was usually Bond or Jaws.
I was a Baron Samedi or whatever. Fucking voodoo dude. Hilarious. Best Casino Royale card game: Texas Hold'em or Baccarat? Hold'em from the book, Baccarat. Wait, no, Baccarat from the book, Hold'em from the movie.
Yeah, in the book, there's an entire chapter explaining Baccarat, and I still don't know how to play that game. So Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, Texas Hold'em.
Baccarat is very complicated.
Best Bond.
I'm gonna do a couple subcategories here.
Okay.
Best movies, Daniel Craig. He's got the best track record so far. Because Casino Royale and Skyfall are great. Quantum of Solace, terrible, but those two are great.
When we get into this, we're gonna do Spectre for this show. We're gonna talk about Skyfall because I got a lot to fucking say about that movie.
All right, we'll save it for Spectre.
Saving it.
Pierce Brosnan, I think potentially the best Bond, but he didn't have enough good movies to back it up.
Right.
Goldeneye was his only good
Because
film.
a lot of the Bond purists fucking hate Pierce Brosnan.
Oh yeah, no question.
My uncle being one of them.
But there's no denying Sean Connery. He had the best mix of he set the tone for it, and he had enough of the classic movies and classic stories that he set the foundation for everybody else to build off of. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's tough to pick the best.
And I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not super familiar with the Bond franchise. I've seen a couple here and there, you know what I mean? But I'm not really a meaty Bond fan. The religious answer, right, is Sean Connery, and the blasphemous answer is anyone else.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people, it's because they grew up with that. It's like, what Bond did you grow up with? I grew up with Pierce Brosnan. I didn't grow up with Sean Connery. Sean Connery was like 2 VHSs at Blockbuster, and then everything else was like everyone else. And so, I'm going to say Daniel Craig because that's the one that I'm looking at the most. That's my Bond. You know what I mean? It's a personal thing. It's not... People want to make it like it's this obvious truth, but it's like, that's your Bond. You know what I mean? You can have him. That's fine. And maybe one day I'll revisit those movies and I'll fall in love with Sean Connery as Bond, slapping women and being a total fucking asshole. But here today, right now, I'm going to go Daniel Craig.
I'll take that one. I'm excited for Spectre.
Yeah.
And whatever new one he's got. He's got one more on his contract.
Oh, yeah?
Then they're going to find new one.
Do you think they're going to do Kevin Nash's Jobs? Kevin Nash from the Magic Mike series of films?
Sure, why not?
Right. Too sweet.
Also, Richard Kiel recently passed away, who played Jaws. Losing some classic Bond folks. Kind of sad.
So we're gonna, on that sad note, we're gonna go into a real dour game of what this movie, Tom Cruise franchise spy movie edition. Yes or no? Haven't seen it. That's how we play what this movie. Play along at home, guys.
Here we go.
Play along. Top Gun.
Yes.
I'm gonna say I'm not sure I've actually seen all of this movie. I feel like I saw is on USA again. If you're playing a drinking game, I've mentioned USA drink. I saw part of it on USA, and then I saw another part of it, and then people talk about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I've actually ever sat down and watched this whole fucking thing beginning to end.
I watched it just recently, actually.
Oh, really?
To really be like, does this hold up? It's so weird. It's way more of a love story than an action movie. There's really not a lot of action in it, but it always gets thought of as this is an action film, from the 80s. It's way more Tom Cruise trying to get some poon.
Also, from my my communication studies days from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, go Avengers, Top Gun is definitely mentioned as the gayest subtext of a movie, right? And no judgment on that either way, but I'm just saying people can make you a clip show of that movie really selling you on this is a gay subtext of a movie.
You only have to watch the volleyball scene. Yeah.
Playing with the boys. Minority Report.
Great film, yes.
I'm going to say preachy, I don't like it.
What?
That's just, it is what it is. Legend.
No. Overall.
I've never seen it.
It's an odd movie.
Jack Reacher.
Yes.
Never seen it. Bond franchise. The whole franchise.
There's more bad than good, but overall, yes, it's iconic.
I agree with you. I like the idea of it. In execution, doesn't always pan out.
Yep.
Bourne franchise.
No.
I'm going to say yes. Spy Kids franchise.
Started out good, really got super goofy, so no.
True, but I think if we ever have children, we're going to be like, you don't want to watch whatever bullshit is out there now.
Yep.
You want to watch this. Kev Jr.
Yep.
Mr. Jibber Jabber 2. Also, yeah, my kid's going to be...
Jibber Jabber Jr.
You're going to have 3 kids. El Hijo de Jibber Jabber, Jibber Jabber Jr., and Jibber Jabber 2. Austin Powers franchise.
First one holds up well. Other 2 are garbage.
I could not agree with you more. Mm-hmm. That first one is a sweet, sweet cupcake, and the other 2 are just biting into a disgusting bread muffin.
Yep.
No good. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yes.
Never saw it.
Great film.
Spy Game.
It's okay, so I'll give it a yes.
Never saw it. Also, I'm seeing a trend with myself right now. A Most Wanted Man.
Brilliant film.
Never saw it.
Check it out.
We gotta-
Maybe we'll do it for the Jibber Jabber.
Yeah, we might have to revisit some of these. Patch up my holes. Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Oh yeah, love it.
Totally great. Loved every second of it.
Taron Egerton, lead in that movie. Could be young Han Solo, maybe?
If we're gonna do a young Han Solo, you could do there's much worse choices than that kid.
I
He's
think you
great.
can totally pull it off.
Yeah. Cocktail.
That movie's terrible. No.
Never seen it.
That movie's so bad.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Loved it.
Great. Can't promote it more. Groundhog Day in a sci-fi war. I mean, fucking.
All kinds of fun.
If you hate fun, I guess don't see it. But if you like fun and you like the movies, you got really no reason not to see it.
Yep.
Magnolia.
Brilliant film. Tom Cruise is brilliant in it. Yes.
I saw it at a weird time in my life. I think I was like 15 or 14 years old, and I'm like, this is such a deep, crazy experience. I have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
So I need to revisit it because I don't think I understood that movie one iota.
Give it another shot.
Hunt for Red October.
Overall, yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird, again, way more of a spy movie than an action movie. I think it's usually thought of as an action movie.
Mm-hmm. Patriot Games.
Never saw it.
Never saw it either.
Yeah.
What can you do? Lord of the Rings franchise. Now we're broadening the franchise term to just franchise.
In general.
Yeah, franchise in general. Lord of the Rings.
In terms of quality, about as good a franchise as it gets. Yes.
This does include the Hobbit movies.
This is just the Lord of the Rings movies, I think. Yeah.
I like it, but I do have problems with how whiny two of the main characters may get in the later movies.
All right.
But big fan of Legolas.
I'll take it.
All right. Terminator franchise.
Oh boy.
Strong out the gate.
Overall, no. I'm gonna say.
I can't say overall no because I feel like the first two movies are. I feel like it's like Jaws. It's like the Jaws franchise or the Psycho franchise or whatever, where it's like there is no franchise. There's the first one.
Yep.
Right. So with Terminator, there's two great ones: the one and the two. And then the 3, 4, 5. Don't even worry about those. Right. Same thing with Jaws. Jaws 1 is great. Jaws 2 is like is okay, and then Jaws 3 is kind of fun for what it is. Then get out of there.
Yep.
Psycho, just stick with number 1. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So I can't abandon it, Kev.
It's Terminator 2 is as good as it gets, but that franchise is dead.
Star Wars franchise.
Love it. Great.
Love it. Great. Couldn't love it more, but I will say that George Lucas has created, I think, the greatest sin in all of movie making, which is not making something available on purpose. And until those original 3 movies are re-released sans bullshit, I think there will always be a big black mark on the Star Wars franchise.
Agreed.
Because there's a whole generation that doesn't really understand what it originally was, and you know what I mean? It's just like extra singing and dancing scenes for no reason, and it's just,
Come on, Disney. Make it happen.
yeah. Collateral.
It's a great film. Yes.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love everything about
That's
it.
a good Michael Mann starter kit movie. I think. Until you get into Heat and The Insider and stuff like that. That's Michael Mann for beginners.
The War of the Worlds.
Underrated. Yes, I like that film.
I'm going to go and say overrated. Hated it.
All right.
The idea that aliens that have intergalactic travel ability would not be able to think like, hey, maybe this air might be toxic to us is just ludicrous.
I like that. It's from the perspective of a New Jersey dock worker. The whole movie. So that we don't learn all that nitty gritty stuff.
I feel like I feel like I'm gonna begrudgingly say that we should do this for the thing, and then I think both of us are gonna walk away upset. Tropic Thunder.
Great satire, great movie, great Tom Cruise cameo.
Never saw it.
Oh, we're gonna watch it.
Okay. Good Shepherd.
Good in parts, way too long, and come on, De Niro. You couldn't afford a little old man makeup for Matt Damon. Jesus.
I think I've never seen The Good Shepherd, or
It's worth checking out.
maybe I saw it and I just don't remember anything about it.
I remember like bits and pieces.
But what I did see was North by Northwest, and I'm gonna go first. I loved it.
It's a good film.
It's a solid Hitchcock movie.
Yep.
Fun. 3 Days of the Congo.
Very 70s, but still very good.
Never saw it. Harriet the Spy.
I remember seeing that in theaters when it came out. In like
I remember,
96.
I remember when it came out, I tried to rent the book from the library and they were all sold out.
Yeah, that movie was pretty popular. And I remember it actually being decent. So I'm going to go yes.
Never saw it. True Lies.
You're fired. Yes. Great film.
You know, I saw it when I was a kid, and it was in a time and space where I was taking myself and the whole world way too seriously. So I need to revisit it, because I think in the guise of having fun, I think that's a healthier way to approach it.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, this is goofy, not understanding that, like, that's the point.
Yep.
So I need to revisit it. I think I unfairly don't like it from my childhood, and I think that it's, you know, a younger me that it wasn't as interested in having fun.
Yep.
Salt.
Terrible. I hate that movie.
Terrible. I also hate that movie.
See when she like glides down the elevator? Terrible. So bad.
I did like how she took off her underwear and put it over a camera, which I'm like, that is a, if you want to block out a camera, I mean, like, that's a pretty smart move.
True.
And it was all downhill from there.
Yep.
And the twists in the movie don't make any sense at all.
Oh god.
Oh, I did like the scene where she tases a dude and it causes him to cleanse up, and then he guns the car and they go off a bridge. I thought that was pretty funny. I was laughing at that scene. Everyone in the movie was looking at me like this. All right, 3 more and then we're out of here. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Good concept, bad execution. No.
Ronin.
Great car chases.
Top Secret.
Great parody of spy films.
Haven't seen any of them.
Oh boy.
I know, right? I feel like I didn't see any of these fucking
Ronin is wow, that's a cool movie.
Okay, we're gonna make a list here and revisit some of this shit.
Yep.
So that's us. That's our thoughts on Mission Impossible. That's our thoughts on spy movies. That's our thoughts on franchises. That's our thoughts on
Guns from
Tom
Goldeneye.
Cruise. That's our thoughts on Guns from Goldeneye. If you missed any of that, hit that 30-second rewind button about 40 times.
You'll find it.
You'll find it. RCP 90, bros.
You'll live with the RCP night.
Proximity mind, though, that's how you make enemies.
Oh yeah. Yep. or play as Odd Job.
Yeah. Dicks.
Enemies.
Ready?
We're gonna go see it, and we'll give you our post movie thoughts.
All right.
When we come back.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And we're back.
We're back.
Mission Impossible 5. Kev, how did we see it?
We saw it at a members-only ArcLight screening on Wednesday, so we got to see it 2 days before the general public.
ArcLight Culver City.
ArcLight Culver City, yes.
Met up. Your girlfriend, my girlfriend. Kind of a double date.
A little double date action.
What was that place we ate at?
Rocco's Tavern.
It was an interesting. I'm willing to go back. It was an interesting experience.
I wish if we had gotten there earlier, it wouldn't have been so bad because we were on a time crunch. So.
That is one thing. Another thing was there was like some beer girls there promoting Blue Moon alcoholic beers, and all of the servers were flirting with them except for one guy who was servicing the entire floor, and then the bartender, which was doing the bar. So that was weird.
Yeah.
And then their happy hour shit was like, it was like buy 2, but the one price, but it wasn't clear. So both your girlfriend and my girlfriend ordered alcohol and got 2.
Yep.
And it was just like, what?
It was an odd system.
Yeah. An odd system. And those wings, a little cold. Not gonna lie to you.
My sandwich was good.
Your sandwich was good. What was it again?
It was an Italian hero.
Yeah.
So, and their meatball sandwich, quite good.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
we like you, Rocco's, but shore up a little.
Yeah. Wednesday, you gotta come on.
Not the best time to go to Rocco.
Batten down the hatches. Come on.
Game day at Rocco's. That's a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Lots of TVs in there.
Yeah.
While we're on a tangent, before we short recess to watch the movie, I talked about how Spy, Kingsman, Spectre, Man from U.N.C.L.E., and Mission Impossible were spy movies, or spy renaissance. In that list, I also forgot Agent 47, which is the Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman reboot.
Right, from Fox, and American Ultra from Lionsgate, which is a...
Which I did not realize was a spy movie.
Right. Have you seen the trailer recently?
Yeah, I saw the TV spot a couple days ago.
Right.
So.
That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mainstream studio spy movies.
It's blowing up just all of a sudden.
And I'm digging it. Other than I don't really care about Man from U.N.C.L.E.
It could be good because Guy Ritchie directed it, and he's kind of finding his mojo.
Oh, he's getting it back?
A little bit. Those Sherlock movies are fun. and hopefully, we'll see what happens. He's not making Madonna movies anymore.
No.
So therefore,
Doing
it should be a lot better.
Doing better. On the upswing. We're rooting for you, Guy Ritchie. Come back to us.
Come back, guy.
Maybe a Mission Impossible movie if Uncle goes well in his future. Maybe we'll get to that later.
We'll get there.
All right. So I got a plot summary here if we want to recap what happens in this movie.
Go for it.
So the IMF, the Mission Impossible Force, which by the way is
Impossible Mission.
Oh, sorry, Impossible Mission Force, which is a goofy name, but it's just goofy enough to be like fun.
Yeah.
So the IMF is under investigation for being a rogue intelligence agency. Ethan, Tom Cruise's character, is captured by the Syndicate, a rumored terrorist group, but escapes with the help of a mysterious woman. He goes on the run as the CIA brands him as a rogue agent. He looks for the leader of the Syndicate at an opera house, finds a lady who helped him escape. He teams up with her. Her name is
Ilsa Faust.
Isla Faust, to steal, and their goal is to steal a ledger from a secure facility that Spectre has lost. But is rumored
the Syndicate.
Sorry.
Said Spectre.
Yes.
that's coming up. We're getting our evil spy organizations crisscrossed.
Thank you, Kev. The Syndicate has stolen but lost to it lost and it's in this secure facility. They break in, they steal it. She betrays them and is revealed to be a triple agent. She is actually a British intelligence agent who's trying to take down the Syndicate, but is working with the Syndicate and betrays the IMF. Still following me? Benji is snatched, and it's revealed that the ledger is really the money needed to run the Syndicate. British intelligence fucked this up because they created it and then lost control of it. Mm-hmm. They are able to unlock the ledger via the Prime Minister, who they hijack, and then they, through wit and cunning, take down the Syndicate.
Good times.
Yeah.
Then there's, it's all kind of run by the main bad dude. Solomon Lane is...
And who played him?
Sean Harris.
What Sean Harris?
This is gonna blow your mind. He was in Prometheus.
What?
He's the geologist in Prometheus. The guy who's like smokes weed in his spacesuit, and he comes back as like the crawling, creepy dude after he gets attacked by the vagina snake.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's him.
That is true.
I did not recognize him, and when I pulled him up on IMDb, that was the first thing that came up. Was,
Amazing.
Prometheus. So
Amazing.
there you go. But yeah, nice. We'll get to his performance, but yeah, he's the main bad dude that is sort of the leader of the Syndicate, and he went rogue from MI6 and basically took over the Syndicate, and then that's why the British government is in a pickle, as they would say.
Dilly of a pickle.
Dilly.
So, overall thoughts, Kev?
These spy movies got something to live up to, because this was a really fun movie. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it. It's, I think, right up there with Ghost Protocol in the Mission Impossible series.
I would binarily cut the Mission, and this will be no surprise to anyone, binarily cut the Mission Impossible franchise into two pieces. The crap pieces, right? The real dry end pieces, which is 1 and 2, and then you got 3 and 4, and I think... No, sorry. Yeah, 3 and 4, and then 5 goes with 3 and 4. It's definitely in this is the fun ones, you know what I mean? Just start with 3 and 5, you can watch that one too. Yeah, I thought it was great.
They've really found their stride and a good mix of what it should be, and now it's like the formula works.
Right. And it's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's definitely shows you that a big summer blockbuster can be witty and doesn't need to insult your intelligence.
Exactly. It can be smart, well-made, competently directed, acted, written, and not just be completely stupid. Turn your brain off.
Spider-Man.
It's hot outside.
We'll just call him out. And it's tough because I think we've seen a lot of good movies this summer, so we'll go back to Spider-Man 2 from I believe 2 summers ago, right? The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
2,
Amazing Spider-Man.
Where it's like. That movie is just dumb as a fucking pile of bricks, right? Mm-hmm.
And thinks you're dumb too,
right? And is totally all over the place. This movie is a concise vision, right? It's fun spirited. It's very physical action. It's the twists and turns are not. It's a fun movie. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun, and you can enjoy it. It's a total popcorn movie at the height of what popcorn movie means. Mm-hmm. Not at the bottom of a popcorn movie. It's not like a Transformers movie where you're like, man, they fooled me a fucking third time. You know what I mean?
Never gonna fool me again, Michael Bay.
They fooled me.
You out.
How many Transformers movies have we done?
I watched 1 and I quit.
Did you like that first one?
No, that's why I quit.
I did like that first one.
There are 4 Transformers movies with apparently an entire staff of writers now to just write Transformers movies.
Right.
Which that's a shitty job. So,
It is, but if the fourth one proves anything, you could do whatever you want.
if the check clears, I guess.
Right.
But
So part of the reason why I like this movie is I really like the characters, right? So I don't really remember. I remember the other movies. I don't remember them like. I'm not like and I can't like rattle off fucking Harry Potter style like their histories and shit. But so I don't remember. So you have a team. You got Vig Rhames. You got Hawkeye. You got
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. That's his main squad.
Yeah, those are the main.
And Tom Cruise, of course. So I don't really remember everyone's backstory, but I feel like the movie really catches you up. You don't need to. If this is your first Mission Impossible movie, you're totally fine, right? Everything you need to know is in here.
That's what's cool about this franchise is in an age where Hollywood is making movies to make other movies, a la Marvel Cinematic Universe, Hunger Games getting split into 2. You can watch any one of these in any order and know what's going on for the most part.
And by the way, you really could watch them in any order, and it does not matter.
Yep. Doesn't change a thing. Like, there are some little details that they kind of throw in.
It'd probably help you if you watch them all in order, but it wouldn't hurt you if you didn't.
You can be thoroughly entertained by it no matter what order you go in. And I think that's... And we talked about it a bit in the first half. The spy genre really lends itself to that. It's just a new mission every week or every movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make it where, Ethan Hunt doesn't have this huge, long backstory and you have to know every little minute detail. Unlike, say... the Avengers, where if you haven't seen Captain America, you don't know what's going on, or if you haven't seen Thor, you have no idea who Loki is.
Well, and speaking of the characters and what you're saying, I feel like Tom Cruise plays, at this point in his life, plays two different characters, right? There's the asshole who learns humanity, a la Edge of Tomorrow, or there's the humanist who's also a killer, a la Night and Day in this movie.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you kind of, when you roll into this movie, you kind of just, if you have any cultural familiarity with Tom Cruise, you already know who he is, right? This one is, he's a good guy who's willing to do what would be unsavory things to help people out. Mm-hmm. And that's all you need.
And he has the skills to pull it off.
Yeah, he has the skills to pay those bills.
Yeah, he does.
That's the IMF, right? Also, Alec Baldwin, delicious.
Yeah, just him, Bill Nighy, and Ian McShane in every single movie, please.
Yeah. Alec Baldwin is like, he's doing a little bit of the character he did on 30 Rock here.
A little, yeah, a tiny bit.
Jack.
Yeah.
Shades of him. A little bit more, I think, it just watching Alec Baldwin look confused to me is just hilarious. There's a scene towards the end where, you do the Mission Impossible face reveal, and also they really pay off the face reveal. They're not just throwing them out like everyone.
Not like Mission Impossible 2.
Right, where everyone's wearing a face mask.
Fat with face reveal.
Yeah, it's like, wait, it's like we're wearing each other, like, well, why? What was the point of that? Exactly. We're in the same room. But so when they do it and you see his reaction shot, it's just like, you dirty fucks. You know what I mean? It's so good.
It is. Yeah, he's, kind of playing the
CIA director.
Well, yeah, I mean...
That's his literal character.
His literal character, yeah. CIA director who is... He's charged with, proving the IMF is this rogue agency and needs to be shut down.
Right.
But eventually kind of falls into the fold, and they imply he's coming back for future sequels.
Well, there's an interesting thing in the beginning of the movie where they run down the IMF, and, he says this is an outdated concept that should be eradicated. Like, it runs without oversight, and it runs with unlimited budget, which is just a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
And then Jeremy Renner's character tells Ethan, played by Tom Cruise, like, this might be our last mission. And I feel like there is a quick kind of postmodern analysis of what's going on. It's like, this is an old concept of a TV show that no one knows about, right? And it's an outdated concept, but we're still doing it.
Yep.
And,
a franchise that is now almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so Alec Baldwin poses the question, is this still relevant? And then the rest of the movie, I feel, is like them trying to sell the idea that the IMF is relevant, and then the end of the movie, Alec Baldwin comes around, and we as the audience are on his side, like, yes, we do want another sequel.
Yep.
And I feel like that is seamlessly done. There's no winking at the camera, there's no whatever, but I think that is there, where they're like, hey, should we be making these movies? And by the end, they're like, yeah,
damn straight,
we should be making these movies.
Sign me up for the next mission.
Right.
I'm there, and that's props to Christopher McQuarrie, who wrote the script.
And directed the movie.
And directed. He's a very savvy writer, as he's proven in Usual Suspects, Edge of Tomorrow. Valkyrie, I thought, was an underrated film.
I agree with you.
He's,
Also, that movie suffers from we know how World War II ends, so what does it matter? And it's like, Jesus.
Like this,
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's a piece of history. Like, it showed that not all Nazis agreed with Hitler.
Right.
It's like, but that's for the World War II podcast.
Serious World War II Jibber Jabber.
But yeah, Christopher McQuarrie is very savvy in, sneaking in those meta comments, but that aren't so overt and like nudging and winking at you constantly.
Right.
Just really good. Yeah, it ties into the story, but it can still be viewed as like we're talking about the movie here. And yeah, I want another mission. I want Alec Baldwin looking over the IMF. Being the IMF secretary. I can't wait to see Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg out there again.
And I want Maggie Q back, damn it.
I didn't miss her with this new girl, Ilsa Faust.
Okay. I did miss her, but let's talk about Ilsa Faust, right?
Played by Rebecca Ferguson.
Who is from The White Queen, which I never saw.
Yeah, I never saw it. I have not seen anything. I looked her up on IMDb. Yeah, I have not seen anything.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I liked her character. Very mysterious. You spend like the first half of the movie just wondering like what the fuck's going on. I should say that about this movie. The movie is a mystery. There's lots of mystery going on. Like who is the syndicate? What's their goal? And is this woman, whose side is she on? And because you are familiar with movies, right? You would know that she's probably going to betray them or whatever. But you don't know what the details of this is, right? Do they have something on her? Is she working for someone else? Is she really bad? Is she a bad person with a heart of gold? You don't really know. And I think she plays that off very well. And the reveal later that she is a British intelligence agent is well foreshadowed by her actions. It makes sense, right? Like she helps him escape, but then kills everyone, and then lies to the leader and says that he killed everyone and escaped, and we couldn't do anything about it, etc., etc., etc. So I feel like she really pulled it off very well when she saves Ethan, and we'll talk about the underwater sequence in a minute. When she saves him, it all felt very genuine, and she pulls it off. I do think as the movie goes on, you see how much of a victim she is of the system, and the movie takes away her agency as we reveal this. So it's revealed that the British Prime Minister, not Prime Minister, the British head of their CIA, MI6, really doesn't give a shit if she lives or dies. He's just kind of on his own agenda. And the syndicate guy doesn't give a shit if she lives or dies either. And Ethan is the only one who really cares. And
he's the only one who can relate to her.
Right, because he can relate to her.
They're both these rogue agents trying to do the right thing, what they think is the right thing.
Right, but are caught up in the middle.
Exactly.
Right. But as she gets in worse and worse situations, she's more vulnerable, and then it culminates in a tense standoff sequence with a bomb, and then they disarm the bomb, and then the agents are told to capture Ethan but kill her. And then, so she starts using Ethan as a human shield by his own direction. But then she gives the gun to him. And it's like, why give it? No. You're the one that needs to hold on to the gun because you're the one they're taking the kill shots at. Mm-hmm. He should just be the shield. And I feel like they really fucked up the beginning of that sequence by taking away her agency. You know what I'm saying? Like, the movie loses faith in her as the characters of the movie lose faith in her.
A little bit. I think she's a strong factor through the whole movie.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's really a nitpick. I don't think that they don't dog her out. They're not like, well, she can't take care of herself. She's a woman. That never happens. But I think they don't, in a critical moment where she could have been like, I'm going to fight back, they kind of underplay it.
I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That didn't bug me as, I didn't really notice that, I'll say, but now you bring it up, yeah, she could have been, the sole one, just like taking the kill shots. Like, you have to kill me to kill him.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Like, now that we're not friends anymore, you're dead to me.
So,
and then let's talk about the villain to wrap up our character talk. Let's talk about the villain really quick.
Solomon Lane.
I really like the simplicity of this bad guy, right? Where he's a former British intelligence agent, and then it's the implication that he had a crisis of faith at one point, and his explanation is, and I think it goes back to what you said about Christopher McQuarrie's writing, is very succinct and felt great in the moment, right? Where he's like, I killed a lot of people, innocent people, for the British intelligence agency in order to conserve what we have, to keep things the same. And he's like, and now I'm doing things to incite the change that I want to see. right? And I feel like that is a great motivation for someone who was good and went bad, right?
Yeah, Screenwriting 101 says the villain is the hero of his own story.
Yes, in that moment, you totally see how this guy
he thinks he's doing the right
right,
thing.
and because from the he in the movie he kills a CEO of some company, he crashes a plane to kill one guy, and 300 people die and all this stuff. But then it's the implication is like I've done this same shit for the British government, right? So it's like I am not a monster. I am just doing things for myself, not taking the orders from the British brass. So you totally get that he is convinced that he's doing nothing different than what he used to do, and I don't know. I feel like you never learn what his ultimate plan is. It's not like some.
Yeah, he doesn't have a big.
He's not a Lex Luthor character.
When I do this, then it will be over. And
right.
The world will bow to me.
Or I want in Bond, they always try to give the people a motivation, like they want a new fuel source so they can make a bunch of money, or they want to take out the Bay Area so that they can corner the market on silicone chips. It's like it doesn't matter what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And the movie understands that, which I thought was really great.
It kind of makes him a little more dangerous too. It's like if we don't stop him, he's just going to keep going.
Right. So I thought that all the characters in the movie were great, and I think it really contributes to the movie being enjoyable.
And I think one weakness with Mission Impossible, the films overall, is they tend to have kind of placeholder villains. Mm-hmm. They don't really do much. And I thought Sean Harris did a really good job, the guy who plays Solomon Lane, bringing a good, memorable performance to it, making him just creepy enough but still human.
Yeah.
And then he's right up there with the best one by far is Philip Seymour Hoffman in 3.
Right.
Owen Davian. But yeah, I think as good as Ghost Protocol is, Michael Nyqvist is the most least memorable villain that you can have in that franchise.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what he looks like right now.
Yeah, he's very much a non-factor, and his motivations are kind of whatever, you know. But yeah, this one really had a strong villain, so I thought that helped it out a lot.
Mission Impossible, also known for its action and stunt sequences. This one, we get no shortage of them. It starts off, the beginning of the movie opens with the plane sequence that you see in the trailer. Then we go into the Opera House sniper battle. Then we have a swimming sequence, which is immediately followed up by a car chase, which is immediately followed up by a motorcycle chase. And then we have a foot chase through the city after a tense standoff with a bomb. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the action in this movie?
It's got a little bit of everything, and I thought it was all very well executed.
In the vein of very physical action in the Mission Impossible series, where you don't cut away from things. If someone crashes a motorcycle, you see them fly away, and they go flying into the wall, and the bike explodes. And you don't cut. A lot of restrained cutting in the editing. Where you get to see things. And and Tom Cruise really pushes for that. When the plane takes off, you see it. They cut away at one point, but you see it take off.
Yeah. You see. I mean, they're showing it in the trailer. Mm-hmm. Like Tom Cruise was actually strapped to the side of a plane, had full eye contacts in, so he could keep his eyes open. But
can you imagine how dry your eyes would feel if you kept your eyes open?
How
do you even
the
breathe?
wind would be so fast that they talked about if a piece of debris fell off or if a bird flew by, he'd be dead.
He said he got hit in the ribs with a rock, and he said it hurt. It hurt like
Jesus.
He's like, my ribs were like mush.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and this is another big prop to Christopher McQuarrie, a guy who's never directed a big action movie before.
Right.
He's done Way of the Gun, which is a very
small action movie,
slow burn, has one or two shootouts, but that's it. And then he's got Jack Reacher, another really slow burn, has a couple of car chases, shootout scenes, but nothing to this caliber.
Right.
And he nailed every single action scene, and they're all so different. And that's what I really liked about this. Because, the plane is kind of a good, like a Bond stunt. It opens the movie. Mm-hmm. It's a big flavor scene, and really doesn't have a huge bearing on the plot, and I'm glad they got it out of the way in the beginning.
Right, because they're
marketing it so heavy.
And they overexposed it, so it's like, if we were going to build up to that,
You'd be sitting there during the whole movie waiting for the plane.
And the risk was, by doing that one first, right, can everything else live up to it? And it does, because they changed, the next action scene is changing tones where it's this weird sniper battle.
Well, that scene's very, Hitchcockian.
Yes.
It's very, you're hunting somebody, we don't know exactly what they're going to do, but we're sort of following the clue, but it's still really tense because we got to move fast, And, all while this opera's going on, and And
And we don't know who's on whose team. There's multiple snipers.
Yep.
There's 3 snipers and Ethan's team, and so
and who they're trying to kill we learn that they're trying to kill the Austrian chancellor, but it's like we don't know who's trying to kill him, who's trying to kill the person trying to kill him, who's trying to save the Austrian chancellor. It's an incredibly well done scene.
Also, it's awesome that they send in 3 snipers, 2 to kill him, 1 to kill the other 2, and then they put a bomb in his thing just in case that goes. So like in this overly convoluted idea, it's like, well, just give him a bomb too, just in case.
Just in case.
This, I don't know, we might have overplanned this.
Yeah,
And they were right. Syndicate.
They
Insurance
kind of
policies.
outthinking themselves,
Yep.
but by God, they killed the Austrian chancellor. Spoiler alert.
There's a really interesting underwater sequence, which after the fact I learned that Tom Cruise learned to hold his breath for like 5 minutes so they could shoot longer takes. I like this sequence a lot. I had no idea where it was going. The idea is that they have to break into this secure facility. The only way they can do that is through the water cooling system. So
Yeah, it's where the data is stored in this like tank, this
Yeah.
water tank.
Yeah, and so Tom Cruise has to jump into the tank, and they have to shut down the system, and then it gets rebooted, and when you're running out of oxygen. Very interesting sequence. I felt like it didn't feel real because you would assume that this would be done with CG or something. I'd have to revisit, knowing that it's not. It's heavily done practically. I want to revisit it and see what I think of it.
Well, I thought they sold it with. It's not all one long take, but every take is long in it, and you
Yes.
can tell that Tom Cruise is swimming.
Right. But
So-
I guess I'm like, are they just CGing out like the bubbles or something? Like I don't know how this is being done, and then it turns out it's true. I feel like I was kind of disappointed when I learned that in a weird way.
I enjoyed that scene because
No, it was great.
yeah, I think you could really tell like they were selling you with the idea. Tom Cruise is actually down there. He does not have an oxygen tank, and he's doing all this really physical stuff. And yeah, it's a tense sequence because you feel like the pressure coming down, and then a good ending. They build it up with they show Ilsa training for it too,
Right.
in her pool,
Right, because presumably she's gonna try to do this without them.
exactly. And then Tom Cruise he gets what he needs to do. He goes to the hatch, but runs out of oxygen.
Before he can
And
open
he
it.
can't open the hatch, and then she dives in to save him. But it's believable because we've set it up really smartly and showing that she's already been trained for this, knows what's going on, and she can, it's not just her like, oh, she suddenly has these water swimming superpowers that
Right,
can do it.
and also it's telling you on the improv nature of this. She's because they sneak into the facility, so they're wearing like jumpsuits.
Yep.
So she's in her underwear now, right? Because she's just like, I just gotta like get this done. And then, they follow this scene up where they like for some reason Benji has a dress for her just in case, like
Yep.
for her to change into, and then you get some tasteful side boobs. So
Yep.
a great sequence ending with her using a defibrillator to wake up Tom Cruise, and then that same defibrillator to knock out Benji.
Yep.
She's all over the place.
She's very talented.
Is there anything else you want to get into with
then
this movie?
let's go right into after that. We've got the car chase through Morocco.
Yes.
Which is them in a BMW, the Syndicate on motorcycles. Syndicate is chasing
So
Ilsa.
she's burned the Syndicate because now she has the ledger.
Yep.
And so she thinks that's all she needs to be taken back inside with her intelligence. We learn this later.
MI6.
So she betrays them in an awesome scene where she does a burnout, and as the bike whips around in the burnout, she bumps the nose of every other bike, and they all fall over.
Yep.
Great stuff. And then she takes off down the streets of Morocco.
And it's, this really... I don't know how they filmed this thing.
No.
It's, they're taking these super tight corners, and the camera is, like, following them through these tight corners. And it's not CG. It's not on a blue screen. It's not anything. Like, they just did it. And, like, I don't know how they had a camera truck that could take as tight a corner as they were doing.
Maybe it was on a bike or something?
Maybe.
Or like a 3-wheeler?
I have no idea.
It'd be interesting to see how that was shot.
But
yeah, it doesn't feel like you're on a soundstage. It just feels like we're in this, and they're doing crazy. They're going down they're going down what looks like 1,000-year-old marble steps. You know what I mean? They're riding bikes down it in Range Rovers and stuff, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Also, there's a great scene where because Tom Cruise is on the run, so Jeremy Renner and Ving Rhames are looking for him, and they spot each other. and and then he has to make like a 5-point turn because he's like, you wanted the stupid.
Yeah, it's there in the huge Range Rover.
You wanted the Range Rover. It's like, you said you wanted it too. It's a great moment. It's also great because in this moment, Tom Cruise is all fucked up from the lack of oxygen. So he's like, his eyes are red and his face looks all fucked up, and he's kind of hitting corners and he's not doing them good.
Just remember when he tries to slide across the hood of the car
and he eats shit. Yeah,
eats shit.
Really good human moment. You know what I mean? It really shows like Tom Cruise is like, you know, I mean, there's lots of things you can say about Tom Cruise in terms of celebrity, but in terms of performance, you know, he's willing to be the butt of the joke. He's not just Mr. Cool Guy.
I mean, that happens a lot in Edge of Tomorrow as well.
Yes.
He doesn't always have to be, you know, lit really nice and always be the hero. Yeah, he can be just the total boob in the scene. And in this, and they build it up good again because he's low on oxygen. He was just basically brought back from the dead,
right,
as Simon Pegg points out. He's like, you were dead 10 minutes ago.
And he's like, what are you talking about? No. And then, so then that chase ends with they do a really cool power slide where it's a narrow street. So they power slide, and as the car takes up the room in the alley, it knocks over the bikes. One guy jumps onto the hood, and then as they slam into stuff, he gets tossed off, and then they go end over end as they go in. They hit into reverse. They fly off the side of a building and they go end over end. And there's a great shot where the airbags go off.
Yep.
And again, even now they're even more fucked up. And Jeremy Renner saves them by running over the last agent. Tom Cruise jumps on a bike. And now we go
a motorcycle chase.
Straight into a bike chase, which was very good. Again, you know what I mean? Like, it shows them speeding through traffic, and it feels like, you know how they shot that one, but you're like, why would anyone put them, you know what I mean? It looked like incredibly risky.
Well, when there are shots, it really looks like Tom Cruise is riding that motorcycle.
Yeah, he is. No helmet.
Yeah, he has no helmet. Like, they're moving the camera in a way where they're basically showing you, like, this isn't a rig. Like, he's on this thing, and I don't know if he actually is or not, but by God, I believe it.
And everyone, in the agents on the bike and our girl, Isla, they're wearing, like, the Kevlar, like, motorcycle outfit. So they're taking, like, these freeway corners going, like, 100 miles an hour, putting their knee down on the ground and, like, kind of scraping it.
Yeah.
And then he goes to do it. And I'm sure he had a pad on, but then, when his knee touches, he kind of, like, jerks back, like, I don't, yeah, that's right. I'm wearing jeans.
Yeah.
And it's a great moment. That little moment was just so great.
Yeah, he's in jeans and a rattlesnake jacket.
Right.
and again, it's a very visceral scene. It's fast, but you always know what's going on. You're always aware of your geography.
Right.
When people crash,
it's painful.
You feel the hit and the boom, and the people hit guardrails, and it's goddamn Christopher McQuarrie. I want to shout out too. We're going back to these cleanly shot action scenes. Everybody finally agreed that Paul Greengrass was wrong with Bourne Supremacy.
Well, one guy does it and everyone wants to copy it. And it's hard. Yeah. It's harder to do it this way, right? Because if that shot doesn't look good, you got nothing to cut away to.
Exactly. But we went through a period there in the mid-2000s where everything was just these big shaky cams and handheld cameras. And so many people were like, oh, that puts you in the moment, man. I was like, that takes me out of the moment. Like, you're shaking the camera and I can tell you're not going as fast as you actually claim you're going.
Right.
So, but yeah, we had Death Proof had a really great clean car chase. Skyfall has great clean action scenes. Mad Max Fury Road, fat for really clean, well edited, well shot action scenes. So we're getting back to these, like, because I think people just know, like, we don't want to just tell them, oh, it's just CGI. We just did all this. They want to see, like, we actually went out there and did it, and they're doing it in a way that's believable.
I agree with all those are shot well. I will say that I have problems with the Death Proof car chase scene, which we can get into in the Death Proof episode. Yeah. We'll do a Grindhouse episode. We're doing both.
All right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's really bold filmmaking where it's like if someone's gonna do something, we're just gonna show it all one motion, and we're not afraid to cut away. You know, we're not gonna hide anything in a cut. We're just gonna go for it, which is nice.
Yep.
But
I'm glad we're moving back. There seems to be a big trend towards that, and just God makes me happy.
But I feel like the scene loses its luster. The chase, it ends with the girl parks her bike really quick and steps out in the middle of the road. Tom Cruise swerves to avoid her and crashes. And instead of he's gotten fucked up twice now. And then this third time where he basically rolls a bike going 100 miles an hour. He basically is just covered in dust, and he was all fucked up from the other two. And it seems like this crash just woke him up.
Yeah.
It was a nice latte in a jump in a pool. You know what I mean? It's like this dude should be in the hospital. He should be dead. But this is a movie, so I'll settle for like him just being like out of commission. But it seems like he's just like, oh man, my bike's ruined.
True. Yeah, they could have. Yeah, that would have been a good second act ender where he's just so fucked up that he can't do anything.
Right, and then we could have taken a little break, story wise, maybe moved it out a month or something.
Yep.
But instead, the very next scene, they're sitting in a bar and they're like, all right, what do we do next? And like Ethan's like, I got a plan. And it's like, bro, you shouldn't have any teeth right now. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
But it's
that's a nitpick. I mean,
easy to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, I know they don't fuck it. I would not dare to say they fucked it up. It wasn't like a fucked up thing. It was just a poor moment in what has been 3 very sharp sequences. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That really sacrificed nothing. And then this one, they kind of just conveniently.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, a nitpick.
A nitpick, indeed. Anything else you want to say about this?
Just again, fun summer movie. Not stupid. Not incoherent. Mm-hmm. Well written, well shot, well made.
And really threads the line between rewarding you for having seen the other movies, but not punishing you if you haven't.
Exactly.
And that's a very difficult line to tread.
in 2010's Hollywood, that's tough to pull off.
Yeah.
So.
We can do our nitpicks, cool stuff, talking points, and get out of here.
Yeah, sounds good.
So nitpicks. We're gonna talk about the nitpicks. Go.
Like you said, some of the action scenes was a little anticlimactic.
The end of the bike scene.
Yep.
The end of the bike scene, a little anticlimactic. The underwater stuff, it's more of a nitpick with myself. I feel like I wasn't appreciating it as much as I should have been doing it. And the plane stunt was a little bit overexposed just for marketing, but it really ends up not mattering. You could have it just doesn't matter.
Movie felt a little long-ish. But I was never bored, which is odd.
Right.
So, but yeah, it felt a tad long.
I feel like they really dime out Benji. And they end up paying it off, but when he gets snatched, it's like, come on, this guy's a secret agent. He's not going to just get snatched in a mall.
Yeah.
But, it's fine, but it just kind of sucks. Like,
Agree.
I'm a big Benji supporter.
Yeah. And I think they kind of reined in Simon Pegg's natural humor a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think he could have shined in a few scenes, and not as much as in Ghost Protocol. So...
Yeah, and on that note, I think when he does get to be funny, they really let him be funny. Like, and he's like, you have to hold your breath for 3.5 minutes. Like, 3.5 minutes is fine. It's like, it's 3.5 minutes, but then 30 seconds to do this, and then 2 minutes, and he's like, nah, you got it. Yep. That was very funny, but yeah, he spends a lot of the movie being more serious, which is fine, but, we just love Simon Pegg, so,
But he still doesn't get to wear a mask. I think that's one running joke that if you've seen the other movies is good.
He wants to wear mask.
He wants to go in on a mission wearing a mask, and he never gets the opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, so we'll do 60 seconds of cool stuff, starting now. Good humor.
Like that opening record store scene.
That was good. Yeah.
Well shot, good suspense, and unexpected ending.
Flute gun, a gun made out of a flute.
I think that was a sousaphone.
I will concede to that it's a sousaphone. Sousaphone gun, amazing.
I did like that when Tom Cruise grabs it, he kind of is confused, but then he figures it out pretty quick because he's smart enough. So nice touch.
Jeremy Renner looking great in a suit, bro. You look good in a suit.
Looking sharp, Jeremy Renner. Nice to have Ving Rhames back because he was just very briefly in Ghost Protocol. So Ving Rhames, always good to have you back.
Their friendship stuff was really great. You could tell that everyone, they're friends, they're comrades, and that felt really, really solid. You'd see how these guys work well together.
Great cinematography by Robert Elswit.
Totally.
Academy Award winner for There Will Be Blood.
Yes.
I know he's won an Oscar. He shoots Paul Thomas Anderson's movies.
Faust, Rebecca Ferguson's character, is not the object of Ethan's desire. They're comrades.
Yes. Thank you.
Which is great, and I wanted to save it for this, but we can get into it really quick. It's just like, you think that they're kind of teasing that he likes her, but if you watch other Mission Impossible movies, we know he already has a wife that he sees sometimes. So then it's in the end they just hug, and he's like, and every time there's a time where she betrays him, and he's like, you're doing what you're ordered to do. I can't really expect anything more or less. So they don't. They kind of tease it, and she's definitely portrayed as very attractive in this movie. She has a cool. I didn't mention this in the cool stuff. She has a cool like Hurricane Rana style move she does, where she gets up on your shoulders and then takes you down
via knife or breaking your neck.
Fucking you up, bro.
Yep.
But yeah, I do like how they had the restraint not to make this a romantic comedy.
Yeah, they didn't shoehorn a romance in. So that's refreshing. And yeah, one other thing I want to note: this plot could have been extremely convoluted and would have alienated some viewers. I think. And I think they do a really good job just simplifying it, making it move fast, and telling it in a really clean way. Mm-hmm. And that's all Christopher McQuarrie.
Right. I think and whoever edited this movie.
Yeah. It's just
storytelling.
Yep. Just very good. Yeah, it could have been like 2, where there's double crosses and triple crosses and MacGuffins out the yin-yang. Mm-hmm. But this one just, again, very, very clean, very smooth.
We gotta get there's a thing. We gotta get the thing. Whose side are you on?
Yeah, they get out of their own way with the writing. So, big props.
All right. So, a couple of talking points here before we wrap this up. How would you compare this to other movies?
So I mentioned earlier, I think it's right up there with 4 with Ghost Protocol. So I would rank it. Ghost Protocol is the best. I think that one's still just best shot and best action scenes overall. But 5 is right up there. I think it has the best story and the best character moments. 3, re-energizing the franchise. 1 has a couple memorable scenes and getting kicked in the balls, and then number 2. So.
I think I'll go 3, 4, 5, 2, 1.
All right.
But there's a very small gap between 3, 4, and 5, and a very, very large gap between 5 and 1.
2 gave us a new Metallica song, and that's it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Metallica.
Yeah. I think it holds up. I think it's a great movie. And it's fun.
I think it will be a great movie 10 years from now.
Yeah, and it's, just like 3 and 4 are still great movies.
Yep.
Do you think Tom Cruise is still a movie star? Do you think that the concept of a movie star is even around anymore? Because right now, as of this recording, we're recording this on Saturday. The movie's come out with a $50 million Friday, which is good. That's a good amount.
Wow.
So, and this is in stark contrast to his last movie, Edge of Tomorrow, which had like a not a very good opening. We're not, money doesn't make, because I think Edge of Tomorrow is a fantastic movie that, everyone just slept on.
Yeah, I think it was poorly marketed. I think they didn't sell the comedy aspect enough of it. I don't think they really sold the concept very well. But yeah, when you're in the moment of the movie, it's a great film.
So what do you think about the concept of a movie star? And I'm not talking. There's a difference between a movie star and a movie actor. A movie star is the concept is that they sell the movie, right?
It was Jim Carrey in the 90s.
Right, Jim Carrey in the 90s, Tom Cruise in the 90s, Will Smith. There's a handful of movie stars. Can't think of anything. Ben Stiller at one point when it came to comedy.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler at one point when it came to comedy, etc., etc. Do you still think that movie stardom is a thing? And again, this is different than being a celebrity where you're famous and people like you. This is like, it's Tom Cruise in blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, so I think going back to what I talked about in the first half, there's just, people just aren't interested or just really apathetic towards the idea of a megastar. Mm-hmm. And all these new crops of celebrities coming in, I just think play into that, and I just find them really dull and boring. So it's going to take, somebody who's kind of worthy of it, and I think, somebody's going to be out there. There's going to be another Tom Cruise someday. But then, yeah, the culture's shifting to like, do you really want these boring people leading your movies? Do you want Jai Courtney doing things, Do you want
Armie Hammer,
Sam Worthington? I like Armie.
Yeah, I'm being a jerk.
I know. Do you want Sam Worthington as your lead? It's like these guys just aren't. They're just not very distinct or very interesting, but they're the ones getting booked and everything. And it's we got to just take the training wheels off, Hollywood. Just go balls to the wall, and I think then the movie star will come back.
I don't think the movie star. I mean, who knows where everything is gonna go, right? But I think at this point in life, it's a math equation, right? You got concept plus marketing plus stars or minus marketing or minus story, right? Pluses or minuses depending on how the audience takes it. So it makes a math equation, right? So I think people either like or don't like Tom Cruise, but if they don't like the concept of the movie, they're not going to go. Yep. Right, so if it's some weird sci-fi movie where it's like Groundhog Day, but you don't really get that reference and it doesn't add up. But for this, it's like Mission Impossible plus fun plus Tom Cruise equals I'll go. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think to piggyback on what you're saying, it's like, and that's not. And listen, I have no problem with Sam Worthington. I have no problem with Armie Hammer. I have no problem with the other guy that you said, Jai Courtney. But those guys are actors, but they're not necessarily stars, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just that I don't necessarily want to see a movie because of them.
Yeah.
So I love The Rock, right? Although I do not like his opinions on Hulk Hogan, which we'll save for another podcast.
Yeah, that's stay tuned for the wrestler, folks.
But I like The Rock, but nothing is gonna make me go see a disaster movie unless
that's a good point.
Unless it's the cause of the disaster is a gigantic monster, right? I will see that. But if it's a disaster movie plus earthquake plus The Rock is not a factor. That's The Rock is plus parentheses Rock times 0. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You gotta foil it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not fucking that movie doesn't matter to me, right? Just the same way my girlfriend loves The Rock, but if The Rock was in a horror movie, he was in the Gears of War movie, which by the way is my pitch for the Gears of War movie starring The Rock. She's not gonna go see it because she doesn't like horror movies, right? So I think they're worth less in terms of the concept of. I don't think people are just gonna go see a Hugh Grant movie anymore. They gotta like the concept.
Yeah.
And I think Tom Cruise is no exception. But he does great work, and he seems like a great guy. And I don't know.
He's trying to get out of Scientology. So they say.
Also, if you were waiting for how long Scientology was going to take for that to come up,
take your shot.
The answer is approximately an hour and 40 minutes. What do you think about the stunts?
Oh, they're all great.
Lives up to the thing.
And each lots of different types of stunts, not just one or two variations on the same thing. There's car chases, motorcycle chases, climbing on rafters, gunplay, just all kinds of great stuff.
And
a smorgasbord of stunts.
Indeed, but from a different angle, we talked about this on the Stuntman episode. Where, I don't want anyone to die doing these stunts, you know what I mean? Strapping yourself to the side of a plane is very dangerous. And, Tom Cruise is someone who has the agency to say yes and no. He's basically forcing them to let him do this at this point, right? He's 50 years old, you know what I mean? The brass doesn't want him to do these things, but he wants to do them, so he gets to do them. So in some ways, I worry, like, hey, you don't have to fucking hang off the side of a plane for my entertainment.
Yeah.
I am entertained by it, I will admit. So I had a weird moment of like, this is only cool because nothing went wrong. But if something went wrong with this, I would feel pretty shitty about it.
Yeah, agreed. Tom Cruise even mentioned recently he'd be open to Top Gun 2 if no CGI was used.
Damn, fucking Tom Cruise, dude.
So it's like he wants to go that far. That's what we need in. Go back to talking about movie stars. The movie stars should want to push the envelope, do the next big thing, do something really exciting and different. And I hope somebody follows his lead someday. And yeah, it's like you said, I don't want anybody to die to make a fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like a Mission Impossible movie, which isn't gonna go down as the greatest thing ever made, but it's gonna be a fun movie. That's what really sells the stunt is this is a big goddamn thing, and they pulled it off. It's like you're pulling off this great trick,
right?
And it's and it's the only way you're ever gonna see it.
It's true. Is there a theme you could dissect from this movie? We only saw it once.
Honor among thieves, maybe.
Yeah, I think right. That is kind of it's
the brass will never understand what the cogs do. And it's especially in this world where they're doing all the really dangerous stuff and they're all highly trained. He can hop on a motorcycle at any time and just, he can do a motorcycle. And I think they really, and, we get it for the first time. We see an agent from a different agency who's in the same situation. They really play that well. And we are the only people that understand what we do. So we have to stick together, kind of thing. This
is about the time where we wrap up the final questions and move into sequel pitch ideas. It's tough to do sequel pitches for this because it could go really anywhere. So what we're going to do in this case is focus on another element of the sequels of these movies, which is they always have a big director. I guess JJ was not necessarily a big director at the time, but he kind of made him a big director.
He was a name.
But he was a name. So what names would you like to see take a shot at a Mission Impossible sequel? Also, in my mind's eye, we're probably going to get... I think Tom Cruise will probably end his career with a Mission Impossible movie. I think that's... If I was to predict the future, it's like when Tom Cruise is like 70... You know, he's gonna lay it down with the last Mission Impossible movie.
Mission Impossible 10. I'll watch it.
Yep.
Maybe 12. All right, so I was looking.
How many do you got?
I've got 5.
Okay, so let's just bounce back and forth.
All right. Well, I wanted to preface mine. The directors he tends to pick, and I think he has a hand in like picking who.
Yeah.
Ever since like 3, and even going back to 1. It's a director who's never done a big action blockbuster before. So he really takes their vision and applies it to the Mission Impossible formula. So I approached it that way, and like who has good directing skills and chops but has never done a big action movie.
Okay, that's very interesting to know. I did not approach it that way. I just kind of went with my own fanboy kind of shit.
All right.
So, but it's probably gonna make a good contrast. So we're not gonna have the same dudes.
All right.
Also, if we had the same dudes, that'd be hilarious. Go ahead.
I do have. All right, I have one director who has done big action movies, but he hasn't done anything like Mission Impossible. Anyways, first pick, Anton Corbijn.
Who is that and why?
He did A Most Wanted Man. We talked about it in the first. He did A Most Wanted Man, The American, and a film called Control.
All right, so he's on kind of spy kind of stuff.
Well, Control is a biopic.
So I mean, but with the American, right? That had a spy vibe
like
to
a
it.
slow, very slow spy movie.
Yeah.
Most Wanted Man, very grounded spy movie, and he's done a lot of music videos. His most famous one is Nirvana's Heart Shaped Box. But yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. I think he has really good chops, and I'd like to see him tackle a big action scene from his very European perspective.
My first pick is When Pigs Fly, Quentin Tarantino.
All right.
Because here's why. One, this one is a little bit postmodern. Quentin Tarantino, very postmodern. There's a 70s throwback element to, or 60s, 70s, you know?
Yeah.
So Tarantino's obsessed with the 70s, so, you know, he can do a little 70s throwback. And I want, the reason why I really picked this is because I want Tarantino, he's such a master of genre. I want him to do a spy movie, and I don't think we're going to get one out of him before he retires.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him make a spy movie.
That'd be cool. I like to see it. And what could he do with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, what can he do with Tom Cruise?
Yep. All right. My next pick is Joe Wright. He directed Hannah and Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, and he has the new Pan movie coming out.
Yep,
Peter Pan
I can see
prequel.
this. I can see this.
Hannah, I thought, was a really cool action movie, and he has really great, I think, unique vision behind the camera, and I'd be curious to see how he adopt that to a big blockbuster.
My next pick is Edgar Wright.
Oh, all right.
Simon Pegg connection. He got hose on Ant-Man, which was kind of a caper. So I think he's capable of a caper. And, you know, why the fuck not?
Great skills behind and in the editing room and in post, and Edgar Wright's just brilliant.
And again, I want to see an Edgar Wright spy movie. I don't know if we'll ever get to see that. He's still relatively young. And then get Nick Frost in there too, and we can just have a fucking reunion. Why not? He'll be the bad guy. Fuck it.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, this next one has done bigger action movies before, but I'd like to see his take on Mission Impossible. Joe Carnahan.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
The A-Team is underrated.
The A-Team,
that movie is so much fun.
The A-Team is a movie that, by all accounts, should have been just a steaming pile of fucking garbage.
Yep.
But was so fun.
Yep. So yeah.
Fun. There's a great quadruple feature of these 3 good Mission Impossible movies and the A-Team. Which is over the top action.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
So. People dog the A-Team movie. They're like, oh, it's so unbelievable. It's like, it's
no
the
shit.
A-Team.
No shit. What are you talking about?
They never hit it a single person with a bullet.
Those same people are like, I don't like basketball. It's too much excitement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that attitude of just like, yeah, I just like to sit.
It's like, yeah, when they're falling out of the sky, guiding their tank with the gun. It's like, of course the A-Team would do that. So yeah, Joe Carnahan joined the IMF.
Yep. Russo brothers, who do Captain America 2. I mean, do I need to say any more than that?
I mean, they're a little busy with
they're a little busy. So I mean, they're going to be down. They're 8 or 9. They're down the road.
That's an interesting pick, though.
Yeah.
I've got one. These next 2 are a little out of left field. This guy is a little older, never done a big action movie. Great directing chops, Jonathan Demme.
What'd he do?
Silence of the Lambs, Rachel Getting Married. Did he do The Burbs? The Burbs, I believe. Or, I don't think it was The Burbs, but I don't know. He's a guy who's been around a long time, Hollywood veteran, has done a lot of smaller movies. You know, really, again, concise, lean filmmaker, very clean style. I think he could do something really interesting with Tom Cruise.
Gareth Evans, who did The Raid and The Raid 2. Those are over-the-top action movies that are insanely shot, insane, just fucking, you know, adrenaline from beginning to end, and I think he would fit into this aesthetic perfectly.
That's a good point. I didn't think about him. Yeah. All right, this is my last pick. This is, I think this
I got 4 more, but I'll roll through them real quick.
All right, do yours first. Do yours.
I'll do 2, you do 1, I'll do 2.
All right.
James Wan, who did the Saw movies and the Conjuring and the last Fast and Furious movie. I've not seen the last Fast and Furious movie. From what I hear, though, it's very good. And I just think that he's one of those guys who people need to give more opportunities to, because he came up in horror and he loves horror, and people kind of look at him like he's in a box. And the Conjuring kind of showed people that he could do something that's a little bit broader than like the Saw movies and things. Happy with that. On that same note, Justin Lin, who did a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, it's kind of a Russo Brothers kind of a pick where it's just like, you know he can do it.
He's competent.
He's competent. You know what I mean? He's those are some. That's like an ace in the sleeve kind of a thing.
Gotcha. So this
to quote Rango, got a lot of aces in that deck. I like it.
So this is my last pick. This one, I think, this guy is unproven, untested. Well, I don't know about unproven, but very young, very, I think, exciting filmmaker. And obviously hasn't done an action movie before. Damien Chazelle.
What did he do?
Directed Whiplash.
Ah.
Yeah, I think that movie is very kinetic, and he made music performances like these almost like action scenes. They're just very.
So what could he do with a car?
Exactly. What can he do with a motorcycle? He can do it with a drum kit. You know, what can he do with that? I think great like filmmaking eye, and editing was just out of control in that film, and Let's give him a big blockbuster. See what he can do.
I like it. I'm going to say George Miller of Mad Max fame. Yes. We'll just rev this fucker up to 9,000 RPM and shoot nitro right into the fucking manifold, and we'll just watch that engine melt. Fuck it.
I'll watch it.
Why not? And then my last one, and this is another out-of-the-box one, is Ty West, who did The Sacrament and House of the Devil. So, it's like, let's go, if we're going to do some tense scenes, let's just slow burn the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think... And that's another guy where, he made movies, I think, to scale, or he's made these smaller movies, so he's used the benefit of having a smaller movie, which is you can slow it down and build things and build things and build things and tension, and then you release it, and it's like, and I think that has worked against him in Hollywood. I think people were like, well, we want you to be you, but more action, and that's a weird thing to say. So I think it's like, listen, homie, you know what a Mission Impossible movie is. Watch these 3 good ones. Okay, so you know what we want. Now you be you in this vein. Figure it out.
That could be cool. Yeah, that's a good out of the box.
You motherfuckers that we all called out, call your agents, call your managers, call the studio, Paramount in this case, get a walk-on pass, go there, have that meeting, go to Fat Sal's, kind of around the corner.
Yeah.
Get a fucking ridiculous...
Fat Jerry.
Get a Fat Jerry. Get some gravy on the side. Dip it. Let's go.
Yeah. Any one of those... we had some wide-ranging picks there. Any one of those guys, I would be thrilled to do a Mission Impossible movie.
Right.
Be happy to have Christopher McQuarrie back, too.
Yeah, well,
if he's so inclined.
I wouldn't be against it, but,
But yeah, is that part of the charm of this series, that we get a new director each time and they can put their own stamp on it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Mission Impossible 5. Go see it. It's fun.
Last question. Do you like this movie and does it work?
Oh, yes. Yes and yes.
Yes. Yes to the second.
Yes.
It does. So, yeah, why not go see it? Have fun. You could do a fucking lot worse. A lot worse. So this is a fun movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you go into it with a fucking and not a sourpuss attitude, you'll be fine.
I might even go see it again.
Well, yeah, get that sweet matinee price.
Yep, get that matinee, because I wanted to see Mad Max again and didn't get a chance.
We should check
So this is
we
my,
should check the second run theater. It might be there.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
We'll take that. We'll take this offline.
We're having a good summer so far.
It's been a pretty fucking great, and I did not have high expectations for it. I thought a lot of things were gonna get fucked up, and they didn't.
I think all the suck just went to Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, it just seems like that was a cone of ignorance, and it sucked in all the shit. And that's the messed up dumb one and everyone was surprised. Oh, who made it at least? And then everything else has just been kind of like
good times.
Good times. So that wraps up for us. Currently airing movie. Liked it. Go see it. Continuing my trend of not having any duds in this whole podcast yet. We'll see how long this can go. I don't think I've not liked one movie that we've done.
We haven't had a universally hated movie yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll see how long this can go.
you want to talk about Chronicle, homie? So.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Chronicle.
We'll see what happens.
Season 5. No, wait. Maybe season 6.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Kev, me, Jibber Jabber, Kev, we're out of here.
Have a good one.
See you later.
Look that up really quick. I'm curious.
We're gonna have to write it down so that we have it handy.
Yeah.
Cruise. I spelled cruise wrong. 53.
It's 53, huh?
Head over and heels in love with Emily Thomas,
42.
who is 22. Hey.
Damn, homie.
TC equals 53.
Okay.
We'll write that
Just
down.
want to make a note about he's still doing all these stunts and he's this old, you know.
Yeah. Getting it. Okay, so don't need any of these links. Okay, ready?
So should we... How's it sound? Test. 1, 2, test.
I'm talking loud. Now I'm talking normal. Yeah, let's
Talking loud. Talking normal. Okay. Sounds good to me.
This is
We'll make sure, because, you know, you got a little different positioning now. So
yeah.
make sure
Well, you're closer to the mic, so I think it'll be good.
That's true.
All right.
So,
Ready?
all right, let's knock it out.
Okay. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation.
Hold for leaf blower. Hold for leaf.
Okay. So. 3, 2,